Hello and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 397. 397, John. That's wild thinking about that. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. Long time no see, JB. How have you been? Have you got any rest?
You talking about a long time no see, man. I seen Brandon Reef less than 48 hours ago, man. But did I get any rest? A little bit, man. You know, we still had to be boots back on the ground in the school systems, you know what I'm saying, that I service, that I work for, you know what I mean? So man, we had some late night podcasting going on with the homies, Brandon Reef and Isaiah Hoffman and D Cott, you know what I'm saying, y'all reacted to what we probably gonna talk about. I'm gonna give my 2 cents as well, man, on that. Bam Adebayo, 83 points. However you feel about the fiasco after the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call it fiasco right now. After the third quarter, it was sort of a fiasco. But no, man, me and Brandon Reef were also boots on the street as it pertains to the Horizon League Championship men's and women's championship games tournament this past week. Nothing but excitement, man. Nothing but kind of what we kind of expected, man. A few surprises, man. A lot of faces, a lot of familiar faces, man. I seen, you know, saying the homies Luke Basso out there, of course. You know what I'm saying? I finally seen Portia Green. You know, man. Didn't necessarily get a picture with her, but we'll hook up. You know what I'm saying, with the Ball State Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying, real soon. But man. And I know Brandon. I know, you know what I'm saying. We got a lot to download and give back. You know what I'm saying, to tell the folks, man. But we also have a special guest, man. Please tell them about our special guest.
Yeah, tonight's special guest joining us here at the bottom of the hour, 8 o'clock, will be IU Indianapolis Jaguars head coach Ben Howlett. He'll be joining us, first-year coach, just wrapped up his first season there at IU Indy, so we're excited to have him on tonight. We're going to kind of talk his move to IU Indianapolis from where he was at over there at West Liberty, where he was just running a juggernaut of a program over there. And then moving over here to IU Indy and kind of recapping a little bit of that first season and kind of where we see where he sees the Jaguars kind of moving forward. Glimpses this year. They had really good glimpses of progress this year, which was great to see for that program. That was definitely needed and definitely just an up and up going. So we'll talk with him. He'll join us here at the bottom of the hour, 8 o'clock. Really excited for that, John. So, but yeah, we've got college basketball craze going on now. Conference tournaments, like you said, we were at Horizon League. Got to see our boys from Detroit. Got to see them out there. We got to see Northern Kentucky as well. Wright State ended up winning the Horizon last night against Detroit. That was a hell of a game, John. I was able to watch it. I couldn't be there last night, but I was able to watch it while you were there.
Yep.
Great game, back and forth to see. And then, just looking to it as we get to now the big ones, ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, MAC, and the Big East, those types, getting it started now. Looking at it now, Indiana Hoosiers down 3, started the second half to Northwestern, 40-37. You said IU needs to win 1, and I honestly think they need to do, if they can knock off Purdue, it's a guaranteed that they'll be in. I don't think it's a guarantee if they just win 1. I think it's a guarantee if they win both.
Guaranteed they win both for sure. And of course, they win the whole thing, then they get automatic bid. Kind of on the bubble right now as it pertains to IU. I know a lot of you folks snickered when they played Siena, Jerry Macklin's team from Siena, and guess what? Siena ended up winning their championship, man. So that kind of is a feather in IU's cap. IU did beat Wisconsin. You kind of forgot about that. IU beat Purdue. You kind of forgot about that. IU beat UCLA, a bubble team, but you forgot about that. So, you know, is it Calvert Chaney and Allen Henderson's IU team that he has out there? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that sizzle kind of going into, you know, or the talent level, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? That's not to shade Wilkerson, who has done it, who has put a good season for himself. And even little DeVries, man. I told you, man, that kid can shoot. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying, what they kind of have put together as a team has kind of been up and down. So again, this is kind of where they put themselves. So take care of business against Northwestern. You know, I still kind of got them in, man. You know, they you know, if they don't get in, there won't be no NIT or any other, you know, saying postseason college basketball.
Yeah, I've got kind of still going through my bracket. In the end, I've got Michigan State versus Michigan in the final, an all-Michigan final. Actually got Purdue messing around and winning 2 games, beating IU and then beating Nebraska, where it forced everybody in, and then I got them losing to Michigan State there in a rematch, again. But I've got those 2, the Michigan teams there in the championship game. ACC, Duke, Duke and Virginia. That's the 1 and 2 seed there. Duke just continues to look unstoppable as they are on the program. So, looking at them. Big 12 wise, John, man, that's almost like a juggernaut of a conference tournament. A lot of talent in that conference as well. You know, the number 1, number 2 draft picks likely in
Yep.
that. They played last night at 40. I think it was 40 last night, and then yeah. So and then today we've had more games there on that LED court, which I think people were going to complain that they're slipping on, and guess what? They are slipping on it there. But yeah, just looking forward to rest of Iowa State put a thumping on today. So I'm looking forward to the Big 12.
They did. Bobby Hurley probably not going to survive that. I know he, you know what I'm saying, winning this tournament with some wins, man, but
he made you his brother.
I mean, that's not a bad place to kind of fall in as an assistant or anything, you know, something like that. But like that, man, Brent, I kind of want to get your thoughts on the whole college basketball postseason and like how the kids play. You know, saying the NBA algorithm, folks, fans. Was people even watching Miami?
No.
I kind of give that pushback. Dude, was they watching? Were people even watching? The game was on late. Nobody gave a damn about the Washington Wizards. I don't even know the Wizards coach gave a damn about, you know what I'm saying, about with the products they had out there. To watch it, so again, I was at the Horizon League tournament last night. Got to see, you know what I'm saying, Detroit Mercy, as the homie Fred Felder, who's an Oakland alumni, says choke it off. You know what I'm saying, Oakland, Detroit are polar, you know what I'm saying, rivals or whatnot. But like, nah, man, I didn't get to see it in real time what Bam Adebayo put together, man. First quarter, man, you watch, but I did. I watched the video, right? So first quarter, man, like he looked like prime. You name it, man. He looked like prime, inside, outside. It was like he really was in the zone. But like, you know, being up 25 points, man, and him having like at the time I think he had like 55. The team was up 25. He had 55, and you know, with the comments they had even earlier from a different coach, Steve Kerr talking about, well, we really need, you know, less games and we really need less time and like that. These things don't go together, y'all. These things don't go together. You know, so you know, it great offensive. Like I said, look, watch the first 3 quarters, y'all, and you'd be like, damn, man, what would Larry Bird do in this? What would Larry Bird do in this area? What would Kevin McHale do in this area? That's kind of like what he was kind of putting together. But like it came too much of like, hey, now this is Harlem Globetrotter waters. You know what I'm saying? Damn near where we're going into the fourth, man. So I just kind of like, you know, even with the homie, you know what I'm saying, with the PP pants down in Kansas, man, in and out. It's a distraction, but like college basketball is what basketball fans want. You got guys, you know what I'm saying, on 1-year deals, maybe even looking over their shoulder, you know what I'm saying, potentially playing for another team next year, another college team going forward, man. So I just kind of want some of your thoughts on it, man. People kind of complain too much about the NBA product. I think they're gonna fix it somehow in the offseason, right? But
I went off last night. Not as bad as Decot, but when it takes,
I couldn't be I'm no matter at the NBA than I'm at Greg Sankey. There you go.
When you, man, Kobe Bryant took 20 free throws and got his 80. Bam Adebayo had 43 shots at the free throw line. I mean, I don't know. I've calmed down since last night regarding it. Obviously, it's a feat. Congratulations. But I was more pissed on the style of play for that last 5 minutes.
Correct.
Where the fouls that were being called by the referee, the ticky-tack fouls that you ain't seen all season long.
And why is he in? Why is he
they were calling. And then the fact that his teammates who end up going to the free throw line are missing free throws on purpose to try to get him the ball. And then what they're doing is then when the other Wizards would inbound the ball at the other end of the baseline, right, to come down the court, Miami would foul them immediately to stave time on the clock and put them at the free. It was dirty to me. It was
Right.
dirty. It wasn't authentic. I think look at it at a sports betting way. Like, I mean, millions of dollars that Adam Silver and them are with the DraftKings and the FanDuels and the sportsbook, and you have to wonder about the integrity of the game with that, right? Because, I mean, we've got guys missing stuff on purpose, literally that last 5 minutes. And
Brandon, that's why it's really a gray area. Was even with I don't know all the whole dealings of the Chauncey Billups thing. You know what I'm saying? Or even some of the Malik Beasley who got cleared of his charges, but never made a roster. But like, man, that's the gray area in probably some of their cases, man. Like, how can you hold me accountable for whatever, and this is what you have out here as a professional product?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't know. I like I said, I've calmed down since what it was.
I'm glad, man. Y'all was hot.
It was a dirty. Decon was hotter than I was.
It was Midnight Madness basketball, and they was.
I had my glasses on. I was already ready for bed.
This is after my man had already did the whole nother show of racing. Yeah. Him and Hoffman had did. You know what I'm saying? Which y'all need to tune into as well. But
yeah, shout out that show. Just came out yesterday, 5 p.m. Side by side. Available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and the Facebook pages. So
plug.
Should check it out. We talked about this, I think, in person. Travis Steele had some comments that there was a line from Oxford to Cincy to play 2 years ago to play Miami, Ohio, and then now they can't schedule anyone because all these teams are wanting to either play a quad 1 or a quad 4 team only.
Either something needs to change in and it's not either. Something needs to change in like how they grade these programs. Especially after a 2-year run, the Miami Redhawks had 25 wins last year. So again, he's not running. You know what I'm saying? He's not running a one and one like this is just a Cinderella team. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually running an efficient program. Have they gotten to the deep tournament run? Absolutely not, because hell, the system is holding against them. The system says it's like a glass ceiling somewhat, man. You know what I mean? So once you get to a certain point, you can't even get teams to come play you, right? Or you got to go on the road to go play them. So they couldn't get either this year. Teams, Xavier didn't want to play them. The homie UCLA didn't want to play them. Michigan State didn't want to play them. And I don't even know if they want to play. We know it ain't home and home. We know it ain't a home and home. Michigan State's not coming. UCLA's not coming. So, so now you're asking Miami to pull all their resources out to go out to California. You know what I'm saying? Potentially. So, they really do need to fix it. You know what I'm saying? They cannot keep on thinking that the teams like Butler, Miami, Dayton, teams that consistently have 20 wins, they have down years. It's technically somewhat of a down year for Butler. They're a bubble team, you know what I mean? But teams like those mid-majors consistently get 20, and they're always floating, you know what I'm saying, around potentially being an upset. But it's hard when teams don't want to. It's hard to try to move up when teams don't want to play you. Like the only other thing that Travis Steele can do is hope that the MAC improves its. You know what I'm saying? It's some of its, winning, right? The other teams win more or leave. Like Butler left. Butler left originally was in the horizon. Butler left for quote unquote greener pastures.
They went to the A10. Then they left to go to the Big East.
So it's been somewhat of a rough go. They've weathered the storm, but it's not been the same. You know what I'm saying? Butler, what I would say of old. So, but again. Nah, man. Brandon, I didn't put it all into. I hope the committee, whether the Redhawks beat, so potentially Akron, that's kind of going, as far as the MAC is concerned, that those teams are going to end up butting heads, and one of them is unfortunately going to bow out. Akron didn't lose a game this year at home. Didn't lose a game at home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, the committee either puts both of those teams in. And it recognizes what the work they've done, and like I said, B, man, don't screw them. Don't screw the Derry Birds, Peter Sutter, man, from Carmel, man. Don't hold that against him, man. Make them a 10 seed or better. 10 seed or better. Don't do this 14, 15 seed.
Yeah. There was news tonight, right before the show kind of went on the air, John. It was reported by Peter Thamel. The break, and you're gonna. I'm anxious to see your facial reaction when I say this.
I'm not shocked.
You already saw it?
No. I haven't to tell me what it is, man.
News. The Big Ten has sent a letter to the NCAA urging it to stop punishing schools for tampering and asking for a complete reevaluation of the rules, per ESPN.
How are they getting punished? I thought what? Wait a minute. I thought everybody went to Congress whining. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who had some juice, they went up there whining. I thought that was supposed to be solved. What are we saying?
The Congress is called for sweeping rule changes, declaring current guidelines are designed for a world that no longer exists. In the letter, the Big Ten argues the House settlement, which ushered in the revenue sharing era in the college athletics, has made the rules unworkable. As a result, enforcement is a challenge in the new landscape. It again also laid out a, quote, path forward to usher change. For starters, it called for a pause of the NCAA bylaw 13.1.1.4, which deals with impermissible contracts. And the conference said members should work to figure out a new policy that fits the reality of today's world. The structure pressures the Revan data. More than 1,000 FBS football student athletes who entered the portal on January 2nd took campus visits the same weekend. Visit requiring travel and institution coordinator could be possible just in organized hours. More than 300 signed by a new school by the end of that weekend, which some signed as quickly as 90 minutes into the portal. Others who enter the portal with a do not contact designation, a moniker that makes little sense without a preconception of a final destination, all signed within 48 hours. Timeline of a reflex of players' movement raises serious questions about whether the current regulatory structure can realistically accommodate the pace at which modern transfer markets operate.
I wonder, Brandon, what the NCAA is fearful of if they tear up whatever contracts they have. Will that potentially make a domino effect and like networks to start tearing up contracts and then everybody kind of go, this is what the NCAA might be fearful of? I don't know. We
talked about them to change the timeline. Just you shouldn't be able to sit there and go through, talk with other players, man, when they're still playing their season.
Players
shouldn't be able to go in the portal. Coaches and people shouldn't be signing while there's still a season going on.
Right. Talk about integrity. That messes with the integrity of the game. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where that falls in. Falls in line with it. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. But that kind of broke there. Ball State, John, we talked Ball State and Mike Lewis have parted ways after 4 years. Got a mutual parting of ways. I was very critical on our alumni, the fact that if they don't want to invest within the NIL, within the basketball program itself, that you're not going to have a winning structure there. You're not going to get the players. You're not going to get what you need in there to be successful of the MACs, where the Miami, Ohio, the Akrons of such. Right now in the NIL and such, you're the bottom, third of the MAC, if you look at NIL.
When the homie comes on for to like when during this one ball nation give time, Coach Fleck, man, he always stresses this fact, and he always is very thankful to the alumni to give to the golfing program, man. It was very eye opening to me, man. Just 3 seasons ago, man, when we had Coach Fleck on, that the golf program had more cash flow coming in than even I think the football program was a little higher, but yeah, have more cash flow than the basketball. So, like, man, you can have Bonzi, you can have Ray McCollum, you can have the Ghost.
What about Stoops?
Yeah, you can have whoever, man. You know what I'm saying? Bring back Tim.
Jim Davis.
You know what I mean? Well, you talking about, you need the alumni. The alumni need to get
John Birdsong.
Pour some money back in Scott Nichols. Pour some money.
I pay my portion. What about you?
Yeah, pay that money back to, Coach Means. Send them letters back out. Let the people know, man. But you know what I'm saying? It's because otherwise you're just gonna have a vicious cycle of where a guy kind of gets, turned in, turned out, man. Mike Lewis will find, his way back to another coaching job. It's in his blood, obviously. But like, man, I got a list of candidates. Me and Brandon we got a list of candidates. It's got about 10 names on it. You know what I mean? I don't know if Ball State's gonna take it seriously, man, but they need to. Yeah,
absolutely. On the other end of it, in the Big East. Sorry, ACC. I had this Big East because they need to go back to the Big East.
It fooled you.
Syracuse fired Autry after missing 3 straight years of the tournament. They're hiring a new AD as well. So then that new AD will be in charge of hiring the head coach to see. That was supposed to be the heir apparent to Boeheim
Yeah.
all those years, and it did not work out. But I always thought I think Syracuse, they need to see if they can, with all the landscape changes, if they can find a way to get back towards the Big East. But I don't think they will with how much money that ACC is bringing in for basketball.
Right. Isn't the writing on the wall Jerry McNamara, former Syracuse?
I forget where he's at somewhere right now.
He's at Siena.
Okay.
Isn't it writing on the wall?
Oh, it might be. Might be. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Will Wade's team was at McNeese State last year. They made the tournament, then he left. The homie announced during the week of the tournament that he was leaving and going to NC State. They are not in. They got knocked out.
Okay.
And then his old team, McNeese State, they won today, and they're now in the NCAA tournament this year again. So
he had a pop at the middle part of the season, man. He had a bunch of, nasty little quotes about his team, man. Unfortunately, some of that sizzle probably unfortunately came back to him bite him. So maybe we'll see him on the NIT run.
Hoiberg, the mayor, signs a new 3-year extension with Nebraska as they kind of enter this tournament. Now, Big Ten tournament is the number 2 seed.
I think the Big Ten tournament is going to surprise us, man, as we get down further to it, man. Iowa already got a dub, I do believe, early part of the day. Who gives a damn? Who gave a damn about Oregon and Maryland? I'm sorry, man. Nope. Even the hoop junkie I didn't even watch the tape, man. I'm sorry, Brad. I didn't.
Damn.
Maryland, Oregon, stop it.
Well, Buzz Williams having some problems there at Maryland right now. That in his first year there,
should have kept his ass in Texas.
A&M. Yeah, exactly. By the way, it's good to have you out of Twitter jail. You were out in Twitter jail for a day.
Hey man, I got a special one I got a special Friday one for the people that love me on the SEC side. So I might be back in jail. So we'll see. I got one coming up.
All right. Big East wise, Butler today lost. They were up, John, in their Big East game against Providence. And then it kind of just fizzled away there in that second half with turnovers, missed shots. Providence wins. They advance. Butler's season is likely over 16-16. I don't see them getting in any of those tournaments. I don't think
very likely over. Future bright for Butler. Couple Indy recruits coming next year. You know what I'm saying? Young legs. Some of those guys. Michael Jai probably gonna move on. I do believe he's a super senior already. Finley Bizak will probably be around. Okay, unless somebody offers him something crazy or whatever. But no, they got some pieces that they're going to continue to build on, and we'll see Butler a little bit in the tournament next year for sure.
Yeah, I think Butler will be just fine.
Injury bug kind of hit them for sure. Injury bug kind of hit them.
It did, and then they got in spurts throughout their season as well, where they just couldn't score, and they were having problems themselves trying to get out of that. And in the Big East, you don't have time to do that, right? With the team,
you play all the great defense you want, man, but you better be able to put it in the bucket. Put it in, for sure.
Yeah, so you got to be able to withstand that. And if you don't, then obviously you got the UConns, you got the St. John's, Xaviers of the world there, Creighton's and such. So, but no, bigger things for Butler ahead. And we're looking forward to it with them. So shout out to Butler. Purdue, John is going to play the winner of this game here, Northwestern, Indiana. Northwestern's up 6 score? With 12 up 6, 50-44. Northwestern with 12 minutes to go. Boilermakers. We got to turn it around, John. They lost on senior day to Wisconsin. That was a tough one at home. I think the last 13 games of the season, Purdue was 6-7, right? And they just something was different there the last few weeks of the season that they couldn't overcome. I don't know if if it was bored. Obviously it wasn't bored, but just I don't know, their style of play and shooting kind of fell apart there in the defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look the same defensively.
No.
At all. And that's not to compare Clough to Zach Edey or anything like that, but I'm talking about the first, 10 games. That does not look like the same Purdue team defensively at all. I will pick on Clough a little bit, man. He's going to have to pick it up more on the offensive end. And when they run that screen road, brother, you got to be ready. What was the point of him coming over to this big-time program anyway? You know what I'm saying? To get more eyes and ears on you. You only got so many more games left in you. You know what I'm saying? As long as if Purdue keeps on winning, you got more tape. And, like, you know what I'm saying, the NBA guys or even the NBL guys over in Australia will be looking at you. So I kind of put some of the ownership on him for sure. Get it done.
And I'll continue to say I think the Purdue goes as far as their shooters. And Fletcher Lawyer, his shots, he's got to be able to hit those shots. He did it in 2024 when they went to the Final Four to the national championship game. He was hitting those big shots. He's going to have to continue that again. So this senior group, it's going to rely on them as they go into postseason play. So, all right, John, we'll get our guest on here. So joining us now, special interview we're going to have tonight. Join us now. See if I can get this going correctly here. Get him on here.
The power.
All right, join us. Crossroads Sports is the 12th head coach of IU Indianapolis Jaguars. Ben Howlett, coach, comes to us from West Liberty, where he led the team to 217 wins, 37 losses, made 8 NCAA tournaments, won 8 straight conference titles. Coach just finished his first season here at IU Indy, and we appreciate him taking the time tonight to talk with us. Coach, how are you doing this evening as March is kind of rolling through?
I'm doing okay. I would rather be playing and preparing for a game right now, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. But we're in straight recruiting mode right now, and that's kind of what we've exhausted ourselves with, and we're looking forward to getting the roster right and competing for next year.
Yeah. So, Coach, this past season was your first with leading the Jaguars. What were some of the biggest things you learned about your team and your program during this year one?
Yeah, it was kind of a season of good and bad. Coming into the season, no one on our staff besides Coach Sean Peckinpah had any type of Division I experience. So we were walking into the season relatively blinded, and got the job relatively late and had to put a roster together basically in 2 weeks, and had to put an entire staff together in 2 weeks. And just the longevity of the season and maybe having a little bit of depth issues on the roster, and in a typical game, I want to play 10 to 11 players, and just felt safe this year, maybe playing 7 or 8. Then we had a couple injuries on top of that, and just made it tough for us this season. But if you look at our season in a nutshell, we were in every single game, and I'm not a guy that counts wins when we lose, but we were in every game, and we were ahead 9 of the last 10 games of the season at halftime, and just fell short, and a lot of that in my mind is just lack of depth, and that's something that we're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as soon as the season started, your first couple games there with the the high scoring that you bring from West Liberty when you were there, it caught the nation. Right. I think I saw it all over Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, you name it. Everybody was talking about it and such. So when you took over there, what was some of the first things you wanted to establish kind of culturally inside that locker room as you come over from a D2 program to the D1?
Yeah, and that was the tough part. That's, as a coach, you always look back on the season and say, what could I do differently? And just tried to put the roster together as quickly as possible. And we typically look, at certain things when we recruit guys, but it had to be done so quickly. Maybe I overlooked some of those typical things that we look at when recruiting. And obviously we play different. We're probably the only team in Division I that's, pressing for 40 minutes and trying to play as fast as we possibly can and playing up tempo and trying to have more possessions in the game. And you were right. Like at the beginning of the year, we were getting so much publicity, and it was kind of odd to me because we were losing games. It was, we were sitting at 0-3, and I had never been a more popular man in my entire life. And we had to have a meeting with the team because these guys are kids. They have social media, and they were reading the press, and I had to remind our guys, guys, this is all good, but we're sitting at 0-3 right now. So the main picture here is we got to get some wins, and but it was all good publicity, and It was one of those things that early on it gave us a spotlight within our program, and it kind of gave us the niche that we're going to play fast.
Okay. John, I got one more. Then I'll let you go on one.
Good.
So looking back, Coach, with the season, what were some of the moments that you saw your program start to move in the direction you wanted it to?
Yeah, that's just it. Like I felt like at times we were trending in the right direction, and we would get a good win versus let's say Robert Morris when we beat them in overtime at our place, and then we had a couple home games after that. I thought we were going to possibly take off, and just weren't consistent enough. And I think part of that was just guys the lack of knowledge within our system that you gotta take every day, and you gotta approach every day and do things the right way. And we had a young team, and we had a bunch of new players that never played in our style of play. But I am proud of some of the guys. I think they took a step for us this year, and I think some of the guys improved their game both on and some of them improved off the court in terms of understanding how to take care of your body and nutrition and making sure you're getting the proper sleep. And I think that stuff gets overlooked, especially with 18 to 22-year-olds. And we're all 18 to 22-year-olds at one time. I never thought about sleep or eating the right way ever. I just thought about playing basketball and going to school. But I think a lot of our guys took a step in the right direction in that way.
Okay. John?
Coach, coming into the Horizon League, what did you learn from coming into the Horizon League that maybe I won't necessarily didn't know or I would say underprepared for? And what do you think as far as like leaving an impression on the team? A coach, like what did you learn from, and what was the coachable moment from that? If that makes sense.
It does, and I think you can watch as much tape and film as you want to before the season and try to learn the ins and outs of the league. And I tried to watch every game they played the prior season and thought I had a pretty good understanding. And then, tried to watch some of the coaches in the past, is kind of their tendencies and what they do. And the one thing I'll say about our league is there's a lot of really good coaches, and that's. People ask me what's the main difference between Division I and Division II, and I would say there's great coaches at the Division II level, like elite coaches. At the Division I level, there's elite coaches and more of them. Each head coach has got 5 assistant coaches on his staff, and they got GAs and interns. And at the Division II level, they've got a part-time guy, and that's basically it a lot of the time. So it's the scouting is a lot more adequate, and it's tough to run set plays where they're not already scouted. And I think the league itself is very physical. It's a physical league, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving and grabbing that, a lot of times will get called at the Division II level, but in the Horizon League, that they're going to let that stuff go.
Yeah. When we were at the Detroit game, John, I think there at IU Indy, Detroit came out, and I said, they got like 11, 12 coaches. Yeah, 3/4 of that bench was just all coaches for them. But
Coach, I got another one. I'd like to ask you, like you said, alluded to, start out 0-3, man. How do you keep the team head up? You know what I'm saying? Again, first game out playing Ohio State, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You scored 102 points on a Big Ten team, but you come out with the loss. How do you still keep the team, you know what I'm saying, head up?
That's a great question, and it's something that I never had to deal with, because all we did at West Liberty was win 28 to 30 games a year, and it was unfamiliar territory for me. And I always kind of wondered when I was at West Liberty, like, how do these coaches keep the vibe high, and how do they keep guys practicing hard that are on teams with losing records? And that's the one thing I'll give my staff a lot of credit for. It's something that we talked about. There was never one time within the season that I felt like our intensity dropped at practice or we lost interest with the team. And it's one I was worried about it. And there were times I was thinking during a game, is this going to be the point in the season where, maybe guys drop their energy level, will drop their intensity, but that never happened. And I think it's just one of those things that you constantly remind your team, it just takes one game to get out of this rut. It takes one game to get over this big mountain that we're trying to climb. And, ultimately that never happened, but I'm proud of the fact that our team never, dropped its intensity or gave up throughout the season.
Okay. So, Coach, Indiana, obviously one of the best basketball states here in the country. How important is it for IU Indianapolis to recruit Indiana high school basketball talent?
Yeah, I think it's pivotal, and that's the one thing when I took this job, I told the committee and I told everyone when I got the job that was going to be something that we, had to do. And I went out and I hired 3 Indiana coaches, guys that, John Peckinpah was very well known in the state of Indiana and has coached multiple high schools, and Devin Heath Granger. I knew him at his time at Fairmont State and coached at UIndy. Then Coach Bruce Fields, who's from Indianapolis and had some head coaching experience. And it was pivotal for me to hire those guys just to get me in to the high schools, the local high schools here in Indianapolis, and had a great time getting to know a lot of these coaches and been to several high school games. And it, the saying in 49 other states, just basketball, it's true. I'm from Ohio and we love basketball, but it's kind of known as a football state. Indiana, 100% is a basketball state.
Okay. We obviously you talked how important it is to get into those gyms, and me also kind of how important with building that strong connection between the team, but the Indianapolis community as a self, right? To kind of get the brand out there, the name out there with this community.
Yeah, I think it's important, and in the preseason we tried to do our part, and we had several dinners with fan bases and trying to draw other fans and trying to get out to the local schools and showing our guys' faces to make sure we're seen. And but I think ultimately people want to watch winning basketball. They don't want to watch teams that lose, and we have to do our part now. Like I feel like our fan support this year, even though our record was not good and it needs to improve, and everyone understands that, we still had great crowds, and not only did we have great crowds, they were into the games. They were active, and I just I'm looking forward to the day when we do turn this thing around, and the support that we're going to get, and especially with the new arena coming, like that's something that we're just ecstatic about. And it's a goal of ours to get that thing to full capacity or near full capacity night in and night out. And how do we do that? We win basketball games.
Yeah, I think the university itself has got great leaders there with you and Luke and Ed to kind of help promote that and to get that community in there. So, and then obviously us, right? Us as a media side, getting the people in there, updating the community as well. So 100%. John?
No, man. Coach, listen, we're a bunch of hoop junkies, man. So, what I'm saying? When you have games, they might be a little bit underreported on radio and TV or whatnot, but, man, we be up at midnight looking for it, So, January 21st, IU Indy gets a win I'm pretty sure it was on the road. I watched it on Plus, I do believe, against Oakland. And you got to, we didn't want to bring you on to take you through all the games. One long, no, but we got to talk about that game because, like, beating the Oakland and a Coach Campy, that team, because, again, we got introduced to Coach Campy and the whole Horizon League probably about 3 years ago, right, Brandon? For sure. So, but, like, no, man, you got to take us through what's it like playing on the road against a well-prepared team like Oakland has, and like with Coach Campy, because, again, Coach Campy out there, beating Kyle Powers of the world, man. That you got to tell us about that one.
Yeah, that was the game was a lot of fun, and obviously we knew Oakland was one of the better teams within our league, and Coach Campy being the coach that he is, and all the success that he's had, and we knew they were going to play. They play pretty much one defense the entire, and it's a unique zone that he's kind of created, and they don't really come out of it unless they absolutely have to. I think our guys were locked in. I really do. Even the night before we get there and we had a practice and thought our guys had a little extra pep in their step. And it's a unique venue. That Oakland is a unique venue. Not the biggest, but it's just a basketball venue. Like it's got the brown court and it's kind of dark in there, but people care at Oakland, and we knew we were going to get a good crowd there, and thought the guys had some extra juice at shoot around. And I even told my assistants before we were walking out, I said, we can beat these guys. We got to play well. And that game started, and we were down even a couple players. They were injured, and played really well. Just continued to get open shots, and we knocked down some from the perimeter. And you know how it goes when a team with a losing record gets up on you. When you're the winning team, you start trying a little bit too hard, and they did some things uncharacteristic. And it was funny at the end of that game, the last maybe 7 or 8 minutes, they went man to man, and they never go man to man. And I give our guys a lot of credit because we beat a really well coached, really good basketball team. And it was, I always say there's nothing like a bus ride home after a win, and there's no better feeling in the world than a bus ride home after a win. And that's a long trip to Oakland. That's a long trip.
Right. That's what I want. I kind of want people to know, man. Like, everybody doesn't have, airfare and first class, man. So if you want to go on the road with a win, 300 miles out, come back. You want to come out with a victory, man. So I wanted to.
I was going to say that those guys were having some fun after that game on the bus, and I let it happen. Like, sometimes it's, cut it out or watch what you're saying. But that trip, they were having some fun on the way home. And those are the things you remember. You remember the wins and you remember the tough losses. But the other thing you remember is the bus rides home after wins. That's a great time with the team. And I know we as coaches had a good time as well.
Do you have any, not saying that you're superstitious or anything, do you have any pregame practices, or even if you do win, do you have anything that you do special?
I'm the most superstitious person in the world. Like, I do the same thing before the game. I got to have the same color marker. I got to touch the same thing. I got to wear the certain ties. I got, and I'm still one of those guys that I wear suits for games still. So I got certain suits to wear at certain games. And, I got to touch the certain locker. I drive myself crazy over it. Like, I drive myself, and my assistants think I'm a wacko, because I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff. But it's just something that, I do, and I work out every day of my life besides on game day. And most people, it's the opposite. They work out on game day, but I usually find a good movie, maybe a good movie with a bunch of crime or killing in it or something. And
oh my goodness,
I tend to watch one of those on a game day.
Nice. With all your successes you've had, Coach, you played for the legendary Jim Crutchfield. You later coached underneath him. What were some of the biggest coaching lessons you kind of learned from him?
Yeah, I think the one thing that, right when he left West Liberty and he knew, there was a good chance I was going to be getting the job at West Liberty. He said, just be yourself. Don't try to be him. Just be yourself and coach, the way that you want to coach. And I coach a little bit different than him, and there's no right way or no wrong way to coach. And that was the biggest thing for me, because I think if, that first year, and I just turned 30 years old, and I didn't really want that job. I wanted to go somewhere else and build it up. I didn't want to follow him. And, they gave me the job there. And if I were to try to be him, it wouldn't have worked. And that's the one thing I did. I went in with a lot of intensity and did my own thing, and, had a really good year with probably less talent than they typically have at West Liberty. But that was the thing he told me, just be yourself and coach the way you want to coach. And, I certainly use that advice every single day. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah. You coached multiple All-Americans there and academic All-Americans. How important is it to balance a player's development, their academics, but also not sacrificing winning, right?
Yeah. I think we try to get ahead of that. And I think the way we try to do it is just recruit the right kids. Like, there's been numerous players and that we've wanted from a basketball standpoint, and we think they'd be a good fit basketball wise, but don't think they check the boxes in terms of who they are as a person and who they are in the classroom. So I think, number one, we try to get ahead of it by just recruit the right kid, both on and off the court, recruit the right kid in the classroom. And, at West Liberty, we were consistently 3.3, 3.4 GPAs, which in college basketball, that's pretty high. And we're going to get that same result here. And because, that's what we're dealing with right now is there's a bunch of transfers out there that we're calling at the Division II level because that's the only portal window that's open at this current time. And we're making sure they check those boxes, both on and off the court. And, I think there's a fine line. We get a certain amount of time with these guys on the court, but, we have an academic advisor that meets with them every day and checks their progress with their grades. And, we get weekly grade reports on all of our players. So they can't hide from us. We've got them under a microscope.
Okay. John, I got just a couple left. I'll let you.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to go? I'll go. Okay.
No, go ahead.
So couple rapid fire ones, real easy ones, Coach.
Sure.
Favorite basketball movie?
Favorite basketball movie? That's tough. That's really that's really hard. I want to go The Pistol or Hoosiers.
Okay. Yeah. Always before sectionals when I played, I used to it was always the Hoosiers movie the night before sectionals.
Yeah, that's great.
When we had it. So, and you talk about Coach Peckinpah. I actually played against his dad at McCutcheon up in Lafayette back in the day. So,
okay.
Yeah, a lot of little interwinding there with that.
I see you.
If you weren't coaching basketball, what career would you have?
I'd probably own a bait shop. I want to run a bait shop. I like to fish, and it's what I like to do. So if I got to do something, I might as well do something I like. So I'd run a bait shop.
Perfect. Awesome. And last one I have for you, Coach. 5 years from now, when people kind of talk about IU Indianapolis basketball, what do you want them to say about the program that you built there?
Yeah, high intensity. Just play extremely hard and guys that are really easy to root for. And I don't want players that have to do all this finger stuff when they score or do all this stuff. I just want guys to play really, really hard, and I want our fan base to be proud of our style of play. That's what I want. And sometimes this year it looked good, sometimes it looked bad, but we're going to be more consistent with it next year, and just really want guys that represent us the right way, both on and off the court.
Okay. John, anything else?
Nah, man, Brandon took two of my questions, man. So
Sorry,
I'm good, man.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's a little late, but thank you for taking time with us. And we're excited what we saw this season, and we're excited for what the future builds. And we'll get you back on as we get closer to next season, kind of talk about the team and where it's going from there. And we'll definitely kick it with you before a game.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me on here, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, John, that's Coach Ben Howlett, IU Indianapolis. Great interview with him. Bait shop, man. Own a bait shop. I like it.
I would
not have figured that whatsoever.
Yeah, I never would have figured that one. But like, man, he was kind of modest, man. He got some Indiana guys kind of already on his roster, man. I don't know if they're gonna get to retain. We got to go through the offseason and all that, man. But if you have not, if you listen to in the basketball world, living in 317, have not got yourself out to a IU Indy game, and do yourself a favor, man. It's not like parking's gonna break you. It's not like the ticket sales gonna break you. But what you're gonna see every game is like the real hard-nosed basketball that you say you crave. What I'm saying, the calls. He said it. He said tough calls with the referees here. And you'll see.
40 minutes of hell. Fast pace, pressing.
Yeah. So you will see that. So man, get yourselves down to some IU Indy games next year for sure. We'll be there. Yep. See us on the sideline.
Yeah, we'll be there. As John says, see us on. Great interview. Thank you to Luke Bosso, and also thank you to Ed Holdaway for getting Coach with us tonight. And we thank IU Indianapolis been a great partner of ours over the last few years, John, and we continue that partnership with them. Switching over back to the NBA. Pacers lose to the Kings last night, and as I call it, the must-lose game of the year. They did it. They're 15-50. They've lost 10 in a row. Let's just keep it going, keep the train going. They're starting to give themselves a little distance of that fifth team, which is good.
Did we just not have a 10-minute conversation about integrity?
I know we did. I know. I know we did. Update on the score, John.
We need AJ Batanza, y'all. We got to get him. We got to get AJ Batanza.
Yes. 4:40 left in the game. Northwestern 70, IU 54. So
Jerry Bird come hard at you, man.
it doesn't matter what IU coach you have, you cannot get it done in the Big Ten tournament. It's looking like so.
Bubble
Unfortunately,
watch. Yeah, now for sure.
Yeah, they'll definitely be out. NBA halted Atlanta's tribute night to Magic City. You all right with that?
That's probably best, man. You know, you listen. A young Jonathan Burstone did not have a problem with any type of strip club culture, but like you can't take, you know what I'm saying? NBA is family type of atmosphere, man. So like, nah, you don't necessarily want adult theme fun around people who should be listening to Barney or Sesame Street or what have you, man. So like, no, it's pretty good. I guess it's good that they got the headlines, man. Like the homie says, what's from the NWO says, man, all press is good press, right? Eric Bischoff, but like, nah, man. I'm glad they canceled it, man. Yeah. Sorry, Lou Williams.
NFL side, John. Free agency was kicking. The new league year, I think, starts tomorrow.
Whoa.
Just a few things to go through. Alec Pierce, 4-year, $114 million, John, for Alec Pierce re-signed.
It's a little high, you know what I mean? But at least you have your wideout. But you know what I'm saying? It's a little high because it costs you your other wideout. So now you got to replace that. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Ballard knows it's a deep wide receiver draft, so I think he's kind of banking on that.
If he's getting $29 million a year, what is Puka Nacua going to get next year as the top free agent?
It's going to be real interesting. He won't get out. All of them ain't going to get Jefferson. I was going to say Al Jefferson.
Will it be north of 35?
33 maybe. It could be. It could be.
With that, Daniel Jones, the news, the Colts kind of offered him 35. Daniel said, I want 50. Colts countered, and they did agree today. 2 years, $88 million comes out to $44 million per year. John, thoughts on that?
I didn't have a problem. I mean, I guess I was supposed to lose my mind about it. I didn't. I said no. 6 weeks. I said 6 weeks ago after the dude got hurt. I said you can't get into no 3-year deals. The Colts did, man. So you know you gotta pay. Listen, y'all, don't lose your mind about the money.
You need a quarterback because the market is terrible right now. If you look at it,
yeah. So. You know, he had the coach. Everybody kind of think he had the coach in between the rock and the hard place. Nah, 2 years is what Daniel Jones is kind of needed. The world he kind of need to be living in, and that gives the coach time to kind of assess what it's going to look like, and hopefully he comes back. That's before we can kind of just kick him to the curb. Then hopefully comes from an Indianapolis standpoint. Hopefully he comes back. And
you get another backup, or you just ride with Riley Leonard until Jones is ready.
Riley Leonard probably going to be the backup for sure. I think.
Okay. Part of that Colts moves, they traded Zaire Franklin to the Packers to free up some money. And then they went out and traded Michael Pittman Jr., who this guy called it, to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You did.
For some late round draft picks. So the Steelers get themselves a large, tall wide receiver, just like DK Metcalf. And actually, finally, a wide receiver, and besides Calvin Austin, because his head was in it, a wide receiver that's not about a bunch of drama. So I'm excited to have Pitt there. I kept talking.
He might actually get. You might actually get a more. He was actually ascending in the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He actually had a pretty good thing for him.
You made fun of him saying he disappeared too much. So hopefully that'll change this year.
Well, again, man, if Alec Pierce gets the excuse of having inconsistent, you know what I'm saying, stats because Anthony Richardson at one point was throwing to him, man, that we should let Pittman get some of the same one. I mean, he had the homie throwing, the old man was throwing rockets at one point, man. So like, nah, I know Pittman's it's gonna work out for him, man. Mike McCarthy's not an idiot when it comes to the coach, man. I think they have somewhat of a plan themselves to be assessing quarterbacks in 2027 in Pittsburgh. But like, man, you should kind of like what you see, man, because at least whatever quarterback they bring in, he's got his receiving core, and he'll probably have his O-line and defensive already set to go.
Yeah,
so you definitely love it if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler.
The Steelers lost their MVP, Kenny Gainwell. He went down to the Buccaneers, which that's a very crowded running back room down there already. So we'll see what happens with that. But Pittsburgh did end up getting Rico Dowell, former Cowboy, former Panther, who moved over to Pittsburgh. But no, I think with Pittman, the guy has got a clear head. You know how many times last year I kept saying, "Hey, Pittman to Pittsburgh. We take him in Pittsburgh. We take him in Pittsburgh." I finally talked it into existence. I found the clip. I sent it to you.
You did. I put it out there. I put it out
calling
there
it a few weeks ago that I would love to have Michael Pittman onto the Pittsburgh Steelers somehow, and it was good to see that Omar Khan was and Mr. Rooney was listening to me for that. Kenneth Walker signs with the Chiefs. John, 3 years, $45 million. Travis Kelce will be back as well.
Floored me, man. They don't want the rookie. They don't want the best running back.
Pacheco signed with who? He just went and signed with who did he sign with? Did he sign with Seattle?
I'm not NFL.
I feel like they just traded
unofficial free agency. I'm still a little ghosty on.
No, he went to the Lions. So Pacheco then left the Chiefs and went to the Lions. Now he'll be backing up Jahmyr Gibbs, taking the role that David Montgomery previously was in before his trade.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what the Kansas City Chiefs do with their first round pick. Do they go defense? Do they go? You know what I'm saying? Wide out? I don't think so. But it'd be interesting. They ain't gonna pick the homie Love from Notre Dame now, so you can kind of take that out your mind.
And the shocker, I thought Mike Evans would remain a Buck. He signs a 3-year deal with the 49ers. Older player, injury-prone player. Brandon Ayuk, the young talent there, will probably be gone, and he'll be traded. He's coming off that ACL injury and the drama that he had the previous offseason. Mike Evans kind of was a head-scratcher to me going out there.
Well, I guess he feels like at least he can get a 2-year run of looking at a playoff. Man, the San Francisco 49ers know how to win regular season football games. So
Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, you know what I'm saying, over Baker Mayfield, man. Just off, you know what I'm saying, last couple seasons often injured, but so no, tap. I don't necessarily think that he kind of moved them into a Super Bowl contender, but again, he'll be a deep threat for him for sure.
Malik Willis signs with the Dolphins, and an encounter Tua ends up signing with the Falcons.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird that, you know what I'm saying, we'll see Tua, and I wish the homie Nas. We gotta find him, man. We gotta find him to see what he thinks.
He might be Magic City. I don't know. We might need to go down and find him.
I don't know, man. Tua back in Georgia, it might work out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll get together, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I did seem like it was right. Ex-Colt Braden Smith, John, signed a 2-year, $20 million with 13 guaranteed with the Texans, a division rival.
Hurt me, man. I don't know, man. The coach AFC South, you know, Brandon, we got to go back to this other business, man. Max Crosby getting traded and not getting traded. And
that was next on my list.
I'm sorry.
Thoughts on that?
Well, I thought you was getting ready. I thought you know what I'm saying, jump over, man, because some of these moves kind of affect the coach. Didn't the coach wanted to do the Ravens sign?
Trey Hendrickson, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to do the Ravens sign. And then the Max Crosby's knee is quote unquote bad. Like, I guess everybody didn't know this, whatever. He was supposedly in Baltimore tweeting that, you know what I'm saying, I'm happy to be here. And then they say, never mind. So he's not coming to Baltimore at all. They signed the homie, but like, I don't know, man. The homies, I don't know. Is he an impact kind of guy? He wasn't an impact guy for the Bengals. The Epic Podcast, you know what I'm saying, the cousins of mine said that the Cincinnati defense was trash, and he's an individual type of talent, and that eventually it's kind of just fall flat on you. But Brandon Reeves is waiting for a chance to talk. I want to tell you, scumbag Ravens. I'll let you speak.
No, just saying. I mean, that's typical behavior, right? So I wasn't shocked. And they went out and got take the division guy. And Ballard, what are you doing? You got to. When you hear the trade thing what are you doing? You got to go out and get him. This is it for you. Figure it out.
Max Crosby?
No, Trent Hendrickson. He had a shot.
Well, you're talking about Brock too. Yeah.
I don't even think he's going to go to Dallas. So I guess Crosby's going to probably end up staying in the Raiders.
Nah, that would be real awkward, man. That would be real awkward. He's not in the play.
Do you think? Does Buffalo sneak in there? They need some help on that defense. You saw that defense in the postseason last year. Josh Allen was pissed.
Would Harbaugh
got a new head coach.
Would Harbaugh take it? Either one. Either Harbaugh.
Okay. Yeah, just what they need down there. I do want to thank the Italians tonight. Italy. I'm going to have
Whoa!
pizza tomorrow.
Okay.
A little bit of spaghetti. I want to thank my Italians friends because they have scored 5+ runs tonight. For them scoring 5+ runs against Mexico, the United States has punched their ticket to the postseason for the World Baseball Classic, even though Mark DeRosa, the head coach, the manager, inserted foot in mouth yesterday, saying that they were already punched their ticket, and they didn't. But, yeah, they just Italy's up 5-0 on Mexico. They've scored 5. They need to score 4 runs or more. They've scored 5. Now, if it goes extra innings, though, I think there's a scenario where they may not make it. But let's just hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't understand their stuff. So, anything else, John, before we go this evening? I know we have our bracket show on Sunday.
Yeah.
Bracketology, Tanner.
No, I know people probably wants to talk about the WNBA being locked out. We'll kind of cover that through some of the tweets and the story mode that we have kind of coming out, man. I canceled my whole. I had a whole 10-minute tirade on the NBA, man. So I canceled it, man.
No. Let's do it.
No.
Come
I
on.
already recorded it.
What about Sankey and the SEC?
Don't think the Big Ten sending emails. The Big Ten is sending.
I know, but the people need to know about you, John. You got Twitter banned. You got Reggie Sykes. He's watching the show. You got Reggie Sykes Twitter banned for 24 hours, based off your conversation with Greg Sankey. Uh-oh.
Deep state. But like, no, man. It ain't. You know, it's good to be known, but I don't want to be known like that, man. I don't need to be doxxed or anything like that, man. But I got a good one for Greg, man. I don't even know what I said that was inappropriate. I didn't say anything.
You hurt his feelings, probably. Like Michael Kelly goes, "Whoa!" Reggie starts laughing. I love it.
The truth hurt.
A little bit of cleanup, housekeeping cleanup. Be sure to like, subscribe, share to this show. Share it. We want to thank Coach Ben Howlett from IU Indianapolis. Darren DeVries is on TV and his son's crying on the bench right now. Coach Ben Howlett, IU Indy, want to thank him for joining us tonight. It was great to get in talk with Coach, and excited to build that relationship with him in the future, getting him on. We've got our bracketology show on Sunday night. Nick Peterson, our Crossroads Sports bracketology guy, will be joining us on Sunday night. We'll also have D-Cot, we'll have Isaiah, we'll have the whole gang joining us Sunday night as we'll talk brackets. We've got our bracket challenges out. John will be sharing it. I've shared it. I've shared it on our Facebook page. I've shared it on my Facebook page. There will be a prize for the winner, probably a mixture of some gear from Crossroads Sports and also the Game Time Network. So for the winner, this guy right here, Reggie hates when I say this, defending champion. So, let's look at it. Try to get another win. If I win, if one of us wins, though, we will say whoever finishes that's not a worker, one of us, whoever finishes next would end up getting the prize. So that way we don't have Reggie Sykes trying to hawk our gear and all that stuff. Six-pack.
No, I thought Sykes owed you a 6-pack for like golfing or something. I don't know.
He probably does. Okay. He owes me golf still. I mean, he still owes me golf. We have to get out there soon. So.
Tune into the Grumpy Old Men, too.
Yeah, Grumpy Old Men show. How about side-by-side racing? Myself, Isaiah Hoffman from the Game Time Network, Tuesdays at 5. The episodes drop. This week they're at Las Vegas. They're at China for the Formula One, and then IndyCar is at Arlington for her first year, so we're looking forward to that. But we'll have all that racing coverage on Tuesday night because we can't fit it all in one show, especially when we've got interviews. We had the Muppets earlier on the Game Time Network show doing their show, Truth with a Little Bias with Reggie and D-Cot, cutting it up as always. That was great for me to sit there and watch them. I always love the impromptu endings of their show. It's one of the greatest things I love. They need to cut it all up. But anything final, John, before we cut it out this evening?
No, man. The sports don't stop, man. So we'll see you, on the socials, man. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe, share. We'll see you guys on Sunday for the brackets. Tune in.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Crossroads Sports content.